Sayyid, come this way. Sayyid.
This was only in Christian Europe. Parallel to this in elsewhere, like in Islamic
Hashim, swap
Spain.
places.
In Islamic Spain, people were building underground
Stop crushing everyone.
overground lighting systems, right? Science was in its peak when Europe was in dark ages. So Islam didn't consider that science is somehow going to be an obstacle to its religious thinking and vice versa. It was like twin sisters. Science progressed within Islam.
But you do agree that some of the regions, I'm not blaming Islam, I'm talking about the people who are using it as a tool. And they know that, that if people start questioning, people start getting educated, will start questioning the religious principles. And that was why some education was not allowed for some of the...
These are some... You're absolutely right.
Do you agree that religion was used as a tool?
You're right.
If everybody was better.
In one sense,
Yeah.
religion has been used, so has been materialism and secularism and humanism and communism, and everything has been used for a particular agenda.
That this is wrong, but so is everything else. That two wrongs don't make a right.
No. I didn't say. What I'm saying is this: you have to judge a
Hashim, look at me.
religion within its own merit. You cannot generalize.
Yeah.
I think we should go.
Just by understanding one religion and say every religion is the same.
You're saying that just religion by itself, if you going by your point, basically if you talk about religion by itself, we are better off without religion. Because
we're not better off without religion.
Why?
I'll tell you why. It's religion that tells us about the universal morality, the way you should interact with each other. When you had no religion...
So does education system, so does philosophy, so does science. Why not go by the modern education system and go by ancient texts that were passed on?
I want to understand why is now a secular model become somehow the normative, uptake for all human beings. What the secular thought tells us? What is the origin of matter and everything, according to secular thinking?
Okay, if you want to start questioning about it,
no, it is important. These are the fundamental questions and questions.
So basically, you're accepting what was told to you blindly out of faith.
Who
rather
said that?
Than trying to prove it.
No, who? You see, again, your statement comes again from a generalization of a particular religion, not from Islam. You know what Islam says? In the Quran, it's always, Allah tells us, the creator of our universe, which we believe is to be Allah, in the Quran, it tells us throughout.
There's times of
Do you
places.
not
You don't rest with Brother Mansur when he's in it.
Allah created this. Go travel to
You saw my
the
hand
land
shaking in
and
it.
see, to the earth and see how God created everything. Do you not see how this happened, that happened? Throughout the Quran, would you not ponder, would you not reflect? In fact, God reprimands us for not thinking and contemplating about this universe, how this universe came into be, how life came into be, how this came into be. So we are not somehow suppressing our intellectual question and inquiry.
Brother, the sister doesn't want to be recorded, yeah? She doesn't want to, if you can record
not using it.
Going by your theory, basically Islam is just a philosophy.
No.
That's
Islam,
what it is.
in
It's
a
not
nutshell, is a complete,
It's a way of life.
whole-encompassing way of life, which means Islam has a place for everything. If
basically, then what is wrong with people following multiple ways, pick up things which are good about everything, every different religion, and follow it?
Because it's not from God.
Secular.
You see, when it comes to...
Why do you need a concept of God if the end result of having this guidelines is to have a social structure or like to promote
your
question?
That's your opinion.
That is not the goal for our existence. Where did we get this goal from?
No, my dear,
you
made that assumption. We didn't, remember, earlier on? Yeah. You made the assumption that our goal is to fix
what
everything.
What is the purpose of human life?
Okay, you're saying at the beginning of life or whatever, right? All the questions that are given by Quran or like to promote thinking, right? I'm saying that
You know why this conversation is difficult? It's because we're not actually dealing with the very fundamentals of it. If we go back to all at the very beginning of things, it will make sense. For example, we are here something now. We exist. Okay? Some people explain this existence that we have been evolved.
Why do you need a concept of God to explain that existence? It's basically you're
see.
just calling it God, but it's this.
It's not what we call.
It could be Allah. It could be something else. It could be anything. Spaghetti monster for all you know, basically.
But it's not what we call. It's what we are going to conclude.
Basically, if I took Quran and removed the name of Allah and called it a spaghetti monster and started a religion, I'd say I'm starting a way of thinking. I'm starting a way of life. This is what I'm going to follow going forward. You're saying that true Islamism is still sustained in that form of thinking, right?
Let's understand what you just said.
Just calling it spaghetti monster.
No, let's understand what you said. A spaghetti monster. What are your concepts of a spaghetti monster?
Everything else, your way of life, your thinking, everything follows what Islam preaches.
I'm sorry.
He's staunchly going.
But you just call it spaghetti monster.
Let's understand that.
Yeah.
Let's understand one thing.
Yeah.
Spaghetti monster is what you're describing is the originator of everything that followed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
It's basically just a name that's thrown
please.
out, right? Yeah.
The reason why even a name is important because I'm sure you have a name.
Yeah.
I could have called you a spaghetti monster, but you don't like it.
Put that up, no? Face it up.
So namings of things are important because there's a reason why we name things.
I've got my brother
So
Mansur
when we
to
talk
cover. What's
about
wrong with
the
you?
name of the originator of everything, we could just simply say the originator. In fact, this is how the Quran describes. He is the originator, Badi'us samawati wal ard, originator of the heaven and the earth. Khaliq, the creator. So we need to understand conceptually the attributes of what we are describing. So spaghetti monster, what comes to your mind? What
Where is this conversation from?
attributes of this spaghetti monster?
Let me buy that coffee.
Oh,
Okay. Now, the spaghetti monster, what are the attributes of
stuck
it?
again.
Give us some.
God is saying to stay and talk, sister.
I actually kind of.